It's getting harder and harder to capture customer attention if you're in the restaurant game. Coupled with major changes as a result from the 2020 COVID outbreak, capacity restrictions, contact tracing, and contactless payments can leave many restaurant and cafe owners feeling overwhelmed. But with a market share of $18 billion here in Australia, dining experiences are very much in demand. So this ever popular multi-sensory indulgence will continue to have a stronghold in business and in our personal lives. To help guide and inspire you, today I am joined by the founder of Tap the Table, Ryan Baggott. Tap the Table is a restaurant and retail digital marketing platform which uses conversational bots to create contact-free menus and ordering, build meaningful leads, and use to turn conversations into sales. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining me today. How's it going? Great. As I had mentioned to you, I am working on a series to inspire people who have never had access to conversational bots, to inspire them and educate them on how they work. So I'm really appreciative of your time, and I'm looking forward to getting to know your product a little bit more.
Well, sure, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be one of the trailblazers in tap technology with chats?
Sure. I have a history of being in the hospitality back in industry for my whole life, for the most part, living in the area that I live. It's hospitality centric. I live in a place in South Carolina here in the States called Hilton Head Island. And so about 12 miles long, very small, but we've got about 250 restaurants that are open year round. And so you can go to a different place to eat almost every day of the year on just the island. In school, I went to the University of South Carolina, and I focused on hospitality management. I was really interested in hotels at first. And I wanted to do a lot of things in the hotel and resort industry. But then I found marketing, and Facebook was becoming hot back then in 2009. And I just kind of like took a gamble. I was like, man, this thing's going somewhere. And I understand it. I've been on MySpace. I had more experience than almost everyone, because back then that's all it took. There were no rules. There were no guidelines. It was the real Wild West to me back then in the social media marketing days, 2009, 10, 11. And so that's what I'd been doing. In November, I think 2019, I discovered ManyChat, which is a tool that changed my life. ManyChat is just so powerful, and I know you're such a higher up at ManyChat. It was really cool to see you at conversation. And I think Kelly is the one from BaggottsBOTs that got me just addicted to the conversational marketing game.
Yeah, she's a great speaker, definitely an enthusiast that has such a magnetic personality. Yeah.
And so, I thought they were cool, but, I thought I knew my thing in the social media management and content creation world. But when it was one episode, I saw, maybe 7 or 8 episodes at the time, but one episode just hit me. And I was like, oh, this is the future. This is where it's at. And so I was obsessed for like 2 months, and finally left my full-time job that I got paid a lot of money to run these social media for an e-commerce brand here in the States. Left, started officially on January 2nd, realized quickly that this unfortunate health crisis was going to affect me. I didn't know if it was going to be positive or negative. And it's supercharged the thought process, because what I wanted to do was show businesses that social media works. And here's the proof. If you don't, see it through the likes and the comments hitting your bottom line, you can't correlate the two. In this world, it's easy to see this sale came right here from this person in some cases, So it's just changed the game for me. And so that's where we are today. And Tap the Table lives to serve restaurants around the United States and hopefully around the world one day.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. And it's funny that you say that as soon as you connected with bots, you were just absolutely blown away, even though by that point you'd had almost a decade worth of experience working in social media. And I can just completely relate to that because,
That's so good to
I
hear.
have really focused, our agency AdSocial focuses on Facebook and Facebook products. And I have never seen a technology that is more personal, results driven and powerful than with bots. So like you, we also just took a pivot and thought, you know what, we're not going to be a dime a dozen marketer that sends adverts to landing page. We're really going to have a point of difference that is the most powerful. So that's great that that we share that commonality, and I think that we share that with thousands of people across the globe
Yes.
that are really passionate advocates for conversational marketing. So
And what you
in
just said
terms,
is actually music to my ears because, I even see in the groups, like some people question, is this the right place to be in? But you had that moment that was like, aha, this is
yeah,
totally where it's at. I had the same thing. I think we're still so far ahead of the game. It's like we're in here when it's good. Like we're going
oh,
to be here from the beginning and ride it out, and it's going for a long time. So that makes me
yeah.
so happy that another vet saw what I saw because I was looking for that confirmation somewhere. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, my pleasure. And and what we're loving at the moment is being able to talk to people who want to be innovators, who want to try things. I mean, there's always that first mover advantage that people talk about, and it's the first ones that get in that really reap the greatest results. I mean, we have a client of ours who, took the punt. We said to them, we think that this technology is going to be amazing back in 2018. And they switched from using landing pages and lead forms and started using Messenger as their main communication and almost lead CRM. And they
Mhm.
have 30,000 subscribers that are sitting
Wow.
on there now, and that is a competitor advantage that
It sure
nobody
is.
else within their industry has. And when you're coupling that in with, the powerful remarketing with sponsored messages, while their competitors are paying $50 for a lead, we just ran a campaign for them yesterday, and it's about $2 a lead. So I am
Incredible.
just as passionate about it as what you are, Ryan. So in terms of bringing it back into Tap the Table specifically, because
Sure.
what we are trying to talk about today is how restaurants and cafes can use this technology to not only market for new business and new leads, also
Mhm.
provide loyalty rewards and incentives, but also use it as a somewhat contact-free payment and ordering system, which is just front of mind for so many businesses across the world at the moment who are trying to run a business but as safely as possible. So if we can kind of have a little chat about the capabilities of Tap the Table and how it actually works, because I
Sure.
mean, we've discussed that it links in with social media, but if you could talk through the journey of, an ad, for example, taking them into Messenger from when they come into the restaurant.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the ad side second. The first side is we'll talk about why is it called Tap the Table to begin with. And
Mhm.
there's actually, I like hidden meanings or double meanings, and this really does have two. The first, thought behind Tap the Table is just as it sounds. We're going to tap the table. So in many cases, the guest is in fact already in the restaurant. When I really was going in all the way on this idea, COVID, the health crisis just hadn't hit my area in such a way where everything was just, you couldn't move, right? So the whole idea was based upon people moving around. And so it was, unfortunate when everything, for me to get shut down uh, in my head at the time, but it turned out to be okay. Thanks again, mini chat. But Tap the Table was, the idea was I'm going to tap my phone or hover it or get close to an NFC tag or QR code. Then
What's an
enter,
NFC tag, Ryan, for people that don't know?
yeah. So that's my favorite thing of 2020. Like that's the one awesome thing that's come from this crazy year. NFC tags are Amazon, or excuse me, they're QR code 2.0, in my opinion. They
Okay.
are, in essence, stickers, devices, very thin pieces of material that you can display or you can hide behind, things like paper that will act the same way as a QR code. So with a QR code, we know we open the camera, we point the camera, we wait for the camera to hopefully find the QR code, recognize it, and then we wait for the bubble. I found that chatbots are so efficient. Some people can open the QR code and see the QR code there in focus. Their eyes don't blink, but they miss the bubble. It happens so fast, the notification bubble. So they're like waiting. And I'm like, well, hit the bubble right there, silly. I've seen it happen. Believe me, I've had hundreds of people like show me, how they interact with the tap the table devices, QR code being one of them. NFC works in essence, all iPhones now, even though they don't all work in the same way in all Android phones. The iPhone, to open up an NFC tag, I think I might even have one. Maybe I can find one here in a little bit. In essence, you could just tap your phone or just get close to it. It's completely contactless. You tap your phone against a sticker. Imagine a sticker behind a poster, for example.
Yeah.
And it says, tap here, place your phone here to listen. And what happens is you tap your phone or scan the QR code, same thing. I always have kind of both options. Boom, you're hit their landing page on their website with the band's YouTube video there. So you're hearing the band that's on the poster that you've never heard of with tapping your phone. With tap the table, I took that concept that I had and I was like, okay, I'm going to tap the table, open up Messenger into a chatbot and start a conversation with that customer. That never ends. That always ends up with a conversion, a sale. That was the whole premise. And so there's some fun features that you can do in between the lines there, and we can talk about whatever you'd like, but that was the whole idea. The customer is there. They could tap the table, you see the menu, for example, but when they saw the menu and got the menu, we sent them a message later on. How was the experience? Was it good? Let us know. 5 stars, 1 star, let us know. Bad experience, will automatically make it right. Great experience, maybe we'll send you to a review site if that's allowed.
Yeah,
on,
excellent.
Who the client is. So.
Excellent. So just to reiterate what you have shared is that with this particular technology, it can be activated via Messenger through an Android or through an iPhone natively. You don't need to download a scan code reader. It's already pre-built within the device itself. You have an option to activate the bot either via having a QR code in store or on the table within the restaurant, by the counter, or alternatively, you can use this NFC technology, which is effectively, it's almost like a little silver sticker that goes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for those ladies of us that buy makeup within shopping centres, you'll actually have these little stickers on the bottom of the makeup for anybody who's trying to shoplift. And when you walk through, it goes beep, 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 beep. It's very similar. So it's effectively one of those little stickers. There's lots of different devices that you can use. You can have that embedded within a little key ring, or you can have it within a swipe card. There's lots of different purposes, but for a restaurant or for a cafe, you're actually best off having that within a poster, or just having the little sticker by the till or on the table. So a user scans and then Messenger activates. Messenger already has picked up the user's first name. So it can easily say, hey, Ryan, thanks for coming in today. These are our burgers that we have available, and they swipe through and they can see the menu. They can see the nutrition, if it's gluten-free, if it has dairy, wheat, anything along those lines. You have the price that's in there. You can also embed a payment gateway, which is a secured payment gateway. And what Ryan has just shared as well is the most brilliant feature, is that it actually monitors the user's conversation. So if, for example, next week they come into the same restaurant again, you can say, hey, Ryan, same burger as last week, because you can see when they ordered, you can see what they ordered. You can invite them into a loyalty program. Have you got an example of a good loyalty program, Ryan?
For sure. And man, that's a textbook definition of everything. That was perfectly said on your part. But the loyalty piece is one of my favorite parts of what a chatbot can do for a restaurant. As someone that's built an app for a large restaurant group of 17 for the Google Store and Apple Store. I can tell you there are a lot of barriers to overcome when that is what you're dealing with, if that's your only way to communicate with the customer. When you're using Messenger, for example, more likely your customers that are in your store or using the internet, for that matter, will have a Messenger. They won't have your app. You have to tell them that, so it's an inconvenience there. With Messenger, you're able to start a conversation. You're able to have keywords ready to fire messaging back to your customers based on good things, bad things, neutral things. The reordering capability that you just mentioned is one of my favorite pieces of the puzzle as well. It's all about speed and convenience. Like, I don't, as much as I market and as much as I develop things, I consider myself in the speed business. I'm just going as fast as possible because that's what the consumers want. The possibilities with a loyalty program came about from the idea of the QR code. I could use a QR code, open up a funnel or a flow that rewards the user either immediately or eventually. So every time you scan this thing, every time you tap this NFC tag or scan this QR code, you could get something, or maybe you earn a point, for example. The NFC piece was so important to me because I'm always worried about someone trying to scam the system. And so with the QR code, it's to the person that has this in their brain, and actually someone brought this to my attention. Truthfully, I never thought of it. It's like, well, Ryan, what if they took a photo of the QR code? You can have all sorts of rules and conditions to ensure the user doesn't get a ton of points by scanning something, right? But you don't think of maybe someone trying all the things maybe, right? But luckily, bots are as good as the builder. And what you described was the perfect bot earlier, right? That's excellent. In my case, I just need to solve X, Y, and Z problems for the businesses. And for the loyalty piece, it's like, okay, I can't rely on maybe a QR code in this case, even though it works in the same way, the same exact action, the same funnel, the same flow from QR code to NFC could take place, but you can't take a picture of an NFC tag and then use that the next day, or you have your friend use it if they didn't actually spend money. So to me, it was a way of ultimate protection.
Yeah,
Security,
love that.
you know?
Yeah, excellent. I really, really like that. So the other thing that I just loved about what you shared then is you're so right. Nobody wants to download another app on their phone. You know, the days of the apps are just, it's done and dusted. Why bother putting all of that money? And I mean, it's a significant cost to build an app. You know, you could be looking at from $50,000 upwards to build an app.
Easily. And no one's going to build one better than Facebook, you know, like, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's great that you've really touched on the fact that people are already using social media. You're not taking them from where they feel comfortable into expecting them to download an app and participate in conversations in a place that they don't generally go to. So being able to reach them and connect and to build that long-term relationship with them within Facebook Messenger and soon Instagram direct message.
Let's go Instagram. I know you'll be one of the first people to get it too. I'll have to ask you how it is.
I'm not going to lie. I have already spoken to ManyChat about going on the beta and putting our clients on the beta. So I am fingers crossed that Facebook picks us.
So cool.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll get picked. You have to get picked.
Hopefully, because it's just amazing. Like, I have been waiting for the Instagram API to be opening up now for probably a good 18 months. So the fact that we're just on the cusp of that just tells me again that there's just that next level now of connecting with people on Instagram directly, you know. And if I'm this excited and impressed by Facebook Messenger, I just can't believe the opportunities that Instagram DM is going to present too. Equally, I know that in the US, you guys also use WhatsApp quite a bit. We don't necessarily use it very much here in Australia, but that is something that will be open to people who are interested in building out this technology in an interoperable platform where they can connect via WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram.
Sure. Now, let me ask you this. I have a question here because the WhatsApp topic's interesting to me. I have the app, never used it except maybe once to track like a shady eBay deal or something from China. Like I don't know who I was talking to. I might have been trying to buy some off-brand Jordans or something. I don't know. But
this is recorded, Ryan.
Oh, let's X that out. I did not
He's
say
joking.
that.
He's joking.
Totally joking. And I have Mr. Michael Jordan has lots of my money. I promise you. Is SMS and text messaging expensive in Australia, or do you not even think about it? Because here
it's not expensive. It's not expensive. And since ManyChat has actually, as you know, ManyChat is our preferred supplier. They are who we passionately advocate for, being number one in the world. We like to partner with the best. So since they have actually, since they have announced, can't remember exactly when it was, but email. Pardon?
There's like 1 million free text messages,
and
they just hook it up over there. They're awesome.
Exactly. So, so in terms of it being costly, no, it's quite nominal for our clients to bring SMS into their overarching communication strategies. So a typical funnel for us may look like either a social media post, or it could be a Facebook advert with a strong call to action, trying to bring them into, or give them an incentive to bring them into Messenger. Once they come into Messenger, we'll try and capture some contact details, or we'll try and draw them towards the goal. Typically, we aim for either a phone or an email, but once we've got those, it does give us the ability to be able to then track the conversation. If they don't want to engage in Messenger, highly unlikely, because, open rates are 90%. So, but, sometimes you don't want to spam on Messenger either. So it's great to be able to reconnect and add in email. If they don't respond on email, it tells the bot. So then you send them an SMS. So it's really just such a great way to have conversation at the core of your communication strategy.
1,000%. You're just nailing it all over the place. I wanted to just end the SMS conversation on my end, because SMS is something, text message, we don't think about that here. Like in general, if you're using a big carrier in the United States, you have unlimited text messaging. And I think, I'm sure you're exactly correct. The WhatsApp downloads are probably increasing like crazy here. But I think it's for different reasons. My wife, for example, uses it only to communicate with her friends that live in South Africa, because for them to communicate back with us or with her, it's way too expensive for them. It doesn't make sense. So Messenger for me solves all those things. And, unless like you're not running on data or have some crappy Wi-Fi and have an unfortunate situation there, which is a thing, which sucks. I think WhatsApp is for the most popular in the countries where SMS is just unaffordable. And I didn't know that until really just recently, but it's an interesting app to watch for sure. And with you and your connection with ManyChat, you're going to have the front row to all the goodies first.
Yeah, look, you're making a name for yourself too, Ryan. Awesome. So I'm sure that you'll be up there too. That's interesting that you say that your wife is from South Africa. My husband is South African, and
my wife's not from there. I'm so sorry, she's not from there, but her friends, all of her best friends. We were there earlier this year before all the travel restrictions. She only talks back and forth to those folks on WhatsApp. I'm sorry. She'll kill me if I don't correct that.
It definitely is a major communication platform in South Africa. I also noticed that some of our Latino community So it's interesting how different countries have different ways of being able to communicate. But the one central common denominator is Messenger.
Yes, exactly. My favorite
that's
one,
great. Just another quick question. I was wondering if you had a client use case that you could share with us. So somebody that you've worked with, you could tell us a little bit about if they're a cafe or restaurant and how they use your tech.
So I know every single one of the clients that I got all the way up until I launched the internet-based subscription model. So the first one I got was a super fun pizza brand. And the only thing that I offered, and this was before, again, like the health crisis was huge, I guess. We didn't really know or whatever. We won't go there. But it was a pizza brand, and they had basically only done mailers. So like they're printing these expensive, things that people are throwing in the trash, in my opinion. And they're mailing it out to their neighborhood. They're getting some people, sure, but I don't think that they probably ever made a positive return in a short term time span ever, because it's just so expensive. Over time, sure, lifetime customer value, but with digital, you have immediate results for the most part. Like when the campaign's done, you know what you got. And so what I was doing was running Facebook ads, basically making one video, 30-second short video, minute video, running one or two ads from there, all going into Messenger with the number one goal of getting the contact information, because there was zero list. Brand new restaurant. There as a new restaurant owner, very nice person, but had little experience in that marketing world. They had no idea. I need to have an email list. That's a good idea, right? And so there's nothing faster, in my opinion. There's not a faster way, a more efficient way, and a way that allows you to have instant brand identity, that someone that doesn't know you, now they know all about you through a Messenger conversation. It can't be done any other way effectively, in my opinion, so fast. So we got her like 300, 400 contacts her first month on a shoestring of a budget. The content itself did okay, but like the Messenger ads just blew away all the expectations. This was my first real experience. So like, you're only going to get better at time. The next client that I got was a place where a loyalty program made sense. So I did start off with the QR code, realize, okay, well, college university students over here, I guess they're trying to scam your QR code. So we fixed that solution with the Nfc tag. So they would come get their bagel. It's a bagel shop. They'd come to the bagel shop. They'd have a sign up front that would say scan here or tap to join the club, get a free coffee. I was also running ads. Tap here, leave a comment, get a free coffee. So like, okay, cool. They would totally do that. They get the free coffee when they come in and show the phone. Messenger, right? There's a button there, so you can control so much. All the things that were like impossible to control without a super expensive app now are easily done in Messenger. And that was my thought process. So I'd have hundreds of college students going to this bakery in February, all tapping the counter or scanning the code, all getting their points. The phone was just going insane all day long. And the restaurant told me she was in business for, I guess, 2 years at that location, but had been in the industry forever. She had never seen social media work until then. And like,
that's excellent.
it was so amazing to see that just work, like, your social media works when you see all the things, the reach, the likes, the clicks, but if you don't know for sure, it sucks. And in Messenger, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. One of the things that we actually share with our clients who we onboard is that by using Messenger in your lead generation, you actually have something of value rather than a like or a comment. Because at the end of the day, whilst that might boost your engagement, it's not actually going to give you an opportunity to continually remarket to them without spending. Equally, for those who are doing ad campaigns that drive traffic through to a landing page, if they drop off, there's actually no way of being able to reconnect with them without then spending more money to re-engage. Whereas the beauty of chat marketing is that once you've brought them down into that Messenger conversation, they've subscribed to receive comms from you. And whilst there's definitely rules, and I'm certainly not advocating that anybody can do this, there is a lot of compliance, and there you don't want to be seen as a spammer. Facebook will shut you down if you are spamming. So, definitely work with a professional who understands the rules and regulations via Facebook and Messenger.
That's a big point, by the way. I think that they're just like we saw. When becoming a social media person was like cool versus a thing that no one ever had done before, they kind of started ruining it for the people that really were passionate. And I don't want to see the same thing happen to the Messenger space. It'll make me so sad because, you get what you pay for, guys. If you're going to go after some clients in any marketing space, you have to go with a professional, not your daughter's friend because she's in college. Because like she's saying, I've seen scary things happened, luckily not to me. If you don't want to see your pages banned, you don't want to see your ad account taken away. And if you have to follow the rules like she's saying, otherwise it's very easy to blow an investment. Sometimes that's a 10-year grown investment of 30,000 followers, like you're saying, like that would be horrible to lose. And so you have to use a professional like her and her agency
to make
it right.
Absolutely. I mean,
So
you're right. I think that there was just a stage where anybody who had a Facebook account thought, oh yeah, I'm a social media marketing manager.
I'm a guru.
It's like, actually, we work really hard at making sure that we understand compliance. We understand how to optimize. It's not something that you can learn overnight. It's something that you actually need to have live campaigns that you're trialing and you're testing. That's how you understand. I mean, writing, one of the things that you had shared earlier was, you know, being able to program a bot so that if somebody does scan a QR code, they can't trick the system. You know, and whilst I definitely agree with you that I think NFC is the easiest option to be able to guarantee that that won't happen, if you do work with a programmer who understands the technology, they can actually build out conditional codes that will bypass that. So it really is, you get what you pay for. You know, if you want to be in compliance, you want to be seen as an innovator, not a spammer. You know, if you want to communicate effectively to build a relationship and not annoy your followers, then you're definitely better to be working with a professional who really specializes in this. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I had somebody contact me the other day and ask me a question about LinkedIn. Now, yes, it's social media, but it's not a platform that we specialize in. So I couldn't answer their question because, you know, when you specialize just within specific platforms and specific functions, you know, that's what you learn. That's what you are constantly following. And it's such evolving technology that it's almost near impossible to know everything that is going on. That it's hard enough as it is to really just understand your niche rather than saying, yeah, I know everything about everything.
You're 1,000% right. And it's one thing to understand and master your niche today, and then tomorrow the rules change or just something changed, the algorithm changes, right? And only the real marketers, and this separates them all. This always does. The changes or the pivots that, you know, you're forced to deal with, that's what separates the real ones that stay around and the ones that, well, now I got to go back to my other job, or, you know what I mean? Well, this side hustle's over. And I think that the absolute best way to understand social is what you specialize in, and it's paid ads. That is it, because you're dealing with all the things. You know, when I worked with a huge agency here in South Carolina before, not my thing. I'd rather be, you know, as independent as I can. I learned so much though, and I saw so much, and was, you know, with great, huge brands and fun projects. And I've seen the budgets that these companies use, scary numbers to me, but that is what's important. So like the way I look at it is this. I think I would love to hear your thought on this. I love talking to chat marketers specifically about this. You can have the best video. Steven Spielberg could produce your 30-second spot. You could have the best writer of all time write 3 lines of copy. And then they could hire, you know, the best chatbot builder there ever lived to build the automation. It's a perfect vehicle, right? I'm looking at things as a car. But guess what? You could have a Maserati in your driveway, perfectly built by this team of experts. But if you don't have gasoline, it goes 0 miles per hour. It sits in your drive. It does nothing. That's what so many Facebook posts are doing, or they're running ads just so inefficiently. They're just losing a ton of money. So your specialty in ads, that's the most important thing, in my opinion, because without the gasoline, you know, the Honda's faster than the Ferrari.
That's a great analogy. I really love that. So can I just ask then, I mean, there's so much evolving with this technology constantly, you know. I mean, Mike Yang from ManyChat just shared with us recently that the Instagram API is opening, WhatsApp is in beta. I mean, we've now got a comment growth tool that can actually go onto a person's post, comment to bring them into a message, and like their post so that it builds up engagement as well. So the tech is just quickly and rapidly evolving.
So fast.
I was wondering what excites you most about the future of chat marketing?
Well, I think that the thing that excites me the most, and this is gonna blow some people away, the people that probably are into your content and that you talk to in the groups, this will probably blow them away and probably blow you away. Or maybe
Okay.
it won't. And if it doesn't, it will. I can't say it won't surprise me. I was
Okay.
speaking to a university in October, and they were working on ways to increase revenue for hospital. It was a hospitality class I was speaking to in the university, and they were thinking of new ways to create streams of revenue. When, for example, your event space is shut down, how do you make money in the event space if you can't have an event, right? So they were bringing in all these different speakers, and we were showing them all the things we did. And so on my day, I showed them automation. And so the first thing that I like to do is pull up a QR code on a screen if I'm like talking to an audience. So everybody takes out their phone. And I'm always like, if you don't do it, I'll know, because you'll get it in the bot.
Yeah.
You can try to lie, but I'll know, right? And then people like, they kind of laugh and they do it. It makes them feel better as soon as you get someone to laugh. That's why I love the GIFs so much. But that's what I'll typically do. And I said to this class specifically, I don't know what made me think of it, but I was on a roll that day. I was like, so how many of you guys actually have Facebook on your phone? Every single person except one person I think who just wanted attention, was like anti everything, didn't have Facebook or any social media. So let's not count that person in the equation. So they all have Facebook. And then I asked a question and I was like, this could be shooting myself in the foot if like no one does. But I was like, how many of you have Messenger? All of them, right? I was like, okay, good, cool. I asked this question. I have no idea where the question came from, but I said, out of curiosity, Facebook, and I had Instagram in there as well to kind of like have a placebo effect. So Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, guys, which do you guys, what do you use the most? Overwhelmingly Messenger. But here's the funny, and I was like, this is awesome. The amazing thing, I said, how many of you have seen automation like this before? Zero.
Yeah.
None. So that tells me we're programming messaging here to better serve businesses and customers. Yet such a huge population have yet to see this technology work. So we're on the tippy top of the forefront, in my opinion. Could be wrong. Don't think I am.
I don't think you are either. I completely agree. I think that we are on the cusp of amazing things with this technology. And I mean, I know that speaking to friends of ours over in the US that this technology is becoming more and more recognized. And here in Australia, we kind of fall behind the US by a couple of years. So I know for us, we are very much in the infancy, that I'm really following the trends in the US. So, you're still probably a couple of years ahead of us. And if you can go into a room that still blows people's minds,
awesome.
it really is the trailblazers, the people who are innovative thinkers, the ones that want that competitor advantage, that are jumping on the bandwagon now. And they are the ones that will reap the greatest return later on. So yeah, I totally agree. And last question, and then I will let you end your day because it's probably late at night for you now, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready for bed. Is how do you explain chat marketing to someone who knows nothing about it?
For me, it's been a tough thing to explain until like I really started talking to myself a lot. Like I talk to myself a lot, like scared about at the table, like getting that.
Not crazy?
I definitely will not argue that. I might be a little crazy, a little chat crazy. I'm crazy about bots. But as I was like trying to like understand, how do I tell someone about this thing that I made? This is chat at the table. This is what it does. Here's like 40 things it does in my head, but no one's going to listen to me talk about 40 things. So it's for me, the best way to describe chat marketing is where so many conversation starters outside of the chat platform, let's not use that word, but the email or even the SMS or the billboard, they're so one-wayed. They're, hey, here's our thing. Hey, buy this stuff. Hey, advertise. Sale, sale, sale. I think that's so incorrect. And matter of fact, when I shoot videos, I make it sure to like make sure they are lifestyle focused videos. And it's like the less of an average, I tell the clients this and they think I'm crazy, but when they see it at work, they love me every time. It's like the less it looks like an advertisement, the better. So what is more natural than human conversation? And some folks, we can agree, are better at conversation than others, which is another skill. And I don't know how much of that can be taught. A lot of things can be taught, but the conversational skill, and Kelly's one of the best because I've seen so many of her bots, the way she words things are so intentional, even if they seem, general, they're so intentional. I thought that that's the interesting stuff to me. And so when you're able to have a natural conversation and you have a smart automation campaign, it's such a seamless customer journey and customer experience in the digital way. It knocks people's socks off. It's really, really cool. And I think it's just, instead of selling anything, it's conversational commerce. It's easy, fluid, a lot of times continual. When I have my online orders, the number one thing I love to see is a reoccurring person say, reorder. I have a reorder button. So I see every time they hit it, I get a little ding because I just love that feature. It's like they've used it once and they're using it again and again and again. And it might just be lazy like me. I would just like rather click one button than five. Yeah. But it's just so fun to see this, the continual conversation. I see them after 2 hours. I'm watching my phone all the time. How was everything? 5 stars, 4 stars. Oh crap, 1 star. Oh great, the manager just took care of it. It's so cool.
Yeah, so that's something actually that we didn't touch on, and I was about to wrap things up, but I think that that's really an important thing as well, is that with the chatbot technology, you can actually program the conversational bot to be able to notify key players within your business. So for example, as Ryan just said then, if somebody comes through and they've done a 1-star review within the bot, that can actually send a notification through to the manager, for example. It can connect with them via SMS, it could notify them via email, and it just flags, hey, Ryan was in the restaurant today, he wasn't happy with his experience, can you give him a call? So it's a great way to be able to not almost delude your reviews, but have an opportunity to be able to have a discussion with somebody about their experience to see if that's something that you can resolve offline. Because once things are online, it's very challenging to have them removed. So it's almost like just building a relationship. As you had shared before, historically, it's always just been so one-dimensional with advertising. You show them something that they want, you hope that they see it, and that they engage. Whereas now you actually have the opportunity to, have a chat with them, show them the offering in a real life scenario. As you had said, lifestyle videos or cinematic videos, have something that they can really picture themselves in that particular moment, experiencing your offering, and then really guiding that user's journey like a customer service agent would, or a sales manager would. So it's all pre-programmed. It's your brand's conversation on point, 24/7, delivering what you want your customers to know. So look, I think that your product is absolutely great, Ryan. I think that it just gives an extra level of conversational marketing. It's very relevant to the times and what we are all going through across the world now, that, you've come into the market guns blazing. It's really perfect timing for this solution. So hopefully we have inspired some restaurateurs and some cafe owners through this conversation today, and they can reach out to you. If anyone wants Ryan's details, feel free to touch base with me and I can pass those on. So thank you so much for your time, Ryan. I really appreciated having this chat with you today and getting to know you a little bit more.
It's been so much fun. You're always welcome to. I'm not as famous as you, but I have a little show. You're welcome to come on mine anytime. And if you ever find yourself in South Carolina, please let me know. I'll make sure you're taken care of.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much. I don't know if we'll be heading there anytime soon.
Yeah, well, after when it's safe. Safe.
Well, we live in a very safe state here in Australia. Our borders have only just opened.
Smart.
So
I love
at the moment,
Australia, man. It's I hope to visit there one day when it's safe and open for people to do so. I think it's such a cool country from what I know.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I will chat with you later.
Thank you so much.
See ya.